Welcome to the Coast to Coast podcast, brought to you by PlayPicks and the Lines, coming to you from the West Coast. Josh Lander, joined by Nate Weitzer, always on that East Coast with another great article up on playpicks.com for you all. Some best bets and player props. Make sure to like and subscribe to this video as we've got a couple more for you on top of what we're about to bring you here. The Nuggets taking on the Blazers in Portland. We've also got another video up about the Knicks and Lakers and our daily player props video. We will be offering a gift card opportunity there as well, so make sure to be liked and subscribed to be eligible to win that. And as always, if you do still need a FanDuel or DraftKings account, head to fdpicks.com or dkpicks.com and find those listings in your area, such as what we've got for tonight. Nate, let's jump into it.
Yeah, the Nuggets have lost 4 in a row, 2 of those without Nikola Jokic, who was on the sidelines with a wrist brace in their latest loss. It seems unlikely he's going to rush back ahead of Thanksgiving here. They don't play again until Friday. So there we have a +6 spread for Denver on the road, and the total's holding steady at 213.5. Before we talk more about that, though, the other 3 games tonight, we got Heat -10 at Detroit. We got the Lakers +4.5 at the moment at New York. We will break that down in a separate episode. And the Mavericks are also waiting on Luka Doncic. They're +5.5 at the Clippers there. So, I mean, the total hasn't moved at all, Josh. And while the Nuggets offense is probably going to suffer without Jokic, of course, the MVP, but their defense has suffered far, far more in this small sample size recently, jumping from 103 to 120 in the 3 games he's missed this year. They have a -11 net rating overall in that span. They gave up 38 points in the first quarter to a really good Suns team. But look, this Blazers team is starting to figure things out finally. They've won 3 in a row, and it's just been night and day in terms of the home-road splits for them. They go from 4th worst net rating to 4th best net rating. They are 8-1 at home. They are 1-7 on the road. They have the 2nd best offensive rating at home. But at home, even though they're about league average pace, they're still giving up 114 points per game. So my starting point here is the over. Denver lights out defensively at home, a little less so on the road, a little more pace, and just who knows how they're going to play here with Jokic, Porter Jr., Jamal Murray, and likely Bones Highland all out. So it's going to be Monty Morris, Jeff Green, JaMychal Green, guys like that. Mike Malone might have to switch it up a little bit and play with a little more pace. And I think that there's so much history between these teams. 7 of the last 8 have gone over, by the way. That Portland, and they're looking for their offense so much, Dame especially, trying to get into a rhythm in this new system, that they will have no qualms hanging 130 on Denver if they continue to struggle. And that's why I would start with the over. I would definitely look at the Blazers team total over and look at ways to maybe tease the spread down. But because we don't know if Jokic is going to play, but I guess you feel confident that they can cover 6 points even if the MVP returns.
I do. It feels like one of those games where, even if Jokic plays, this is not tailor-made for the Nuggets to win based on style here, and a lack of guards for the Nuggets. It's always going to hurt when you're playing the best guard team in the league, or at least the team that relies on its guards more than any in Portland, right, with the way that they play with McCollum and Dame and have. And you're right, there has been an uptick for the Blazers directly tied to Dame increasing his performance. He missed a game about 4 games ago for the Blazers where they got pounded by the Nuggets in Denver, and now he's back. There's a little bit of a revenge factor there. This game actually started at 208 in terms of the total. It's been bet up to 213.5. I think plenty of people are aware that, without Jokic, they're much worse on defense are the Nuggets. But also, there are plenty of people, enter Willie Barton for the Nuggets, who are going to come and pull. And I think you're going to see a ton of 3-point attempts tonight for the Nuggets. Even if they do have Joker, you're going to see them trying to stay in this game. And I don't think you're going to be able to see them able to stop what the Blazers do on offense at all, especially at home. As we mentioned, their torrid pace, not pace, but their torrid efficiency at home. It's really their effective field goal percentage, true shooting percentage, that really, and all those efficiency stats that are what they are incredible at home, top 5 in all those, important offensive categories. Interestingly enough, Yusuf Nurkic is, supposed to be someone who comes in and plays that sort of defensive stopper role for them. He has the worst defensive rating on the team, individual defensive rating, but their offensive rating goes up about 6 points per 100 possessions when he's on the floor. So, that's a huge swing there in terms of offense for defense with Nurk on the floor this year, which, without Jokic or even a slightly hobbled Jokic, means that it's going to be, a pretty big day to feast for Nurk on offense, especially. So, I think I feel comfortable about this because I can see those threes raining in for the Blazers, and I can see those threes clunking for the Nuggets. Even if the Nuggets are able to hang close early by hitting some threes with Monta Morris and the like, and like we said, Willie B. Even if that is the case, I still think this is a case of it's just all offense for both teams with no defense tonight, which would lead to a Blazers victory in terms of the ability to have that firepower. And like we said, this has been historically a streaky team in the Blazers, especially at the beginning of the season, coming out with really slow starts, and then you see Dame, and I think we're about to see we're in the midst of a Dame really nice stretch of games here. So I would feel really good about taking, maybe tease that back down. Like you said, tease that total back down to about 209.5, where it's at 213 right now, and get the Blazers to about 2 points. But if you really just want to stick with that 6 right now, I do think we're going to see a Blazers heavy game tonight.
Yeah, I think the Blazers are going to win. Just a question of by how much. The home team has won 15 of the last 16 in this series. Just really speaks again to these splits. It's pretty surprising across the entire NBA just how much teams seem impacted by the return of full stadiums, right? And that these aren't the only two teams that are just like 1-7 on the road and 8-1 at home, like Atlanta, for example. So I don't think that Denver's going to be able to pull this one out. To your point, even if Jokic does return. I do like Nurkic to step it up, though, against his former team, especially if the big man is absent. So we'll talk about some of his player props in that video there. I think Blazers, I think with teams giving up 114 at home and the Nuggets giving up 112 points per game during their 4-game skid, I think we can easily get over this total. It just still seems a little low to me despite being bet up.
Yeah, no, it's crazy too, actually, in terms of the home teams, as you mentioned. Right now, there's only 10 teams with a record below 500 at home, which is a big change from last year in terms of how much closer those home road splits were. The other aspect of this game, kind of similar to that Knicks-Lakers game in terms of stars being out for both squads, meaning that the benches will also suffer, right? Because you've got to insert certain guys into the starting lineup and give them more starter minutes than you might hope, taking away from that second unit strength, right? And who's got the advantage there? Hugely in Portland's favor, as Denver has the worst bench net rating in the league. And they have the second best starter net rating in the league, which is interesting. Obviously a couple of guys have had to step up in the absence of Murray and Porter Jr. missing a couple of games. He might also be out for the season, something to monitor for the Nuggets there as they continue to have some of the worst luck in the league. But I think as we mentioned, tonight is a night to stick with that home team, especially when you've got the team with tied for the best record at home right now in the Blazers with the Warriors. So I feel really, really good about them. I just see this like really slow, awful Denver game tonight, and plenty of guard play and solid offense for the Blazers. So that is all the time that we have for today, Nate. As we said, make sure to like and subscribe so you can jump into that player props video we have and give us a gift card prop guess in the comments. And until we see you next, happy betting.